Alright, what up, dudes? It's your boy Rob, Pauper MTG, hanging out once again, joined by my bro and friend, Dan, Fragrance of Dan. How do you do, Dan?
Here I am.
Playing a deck that I've been working on for a little while. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a Midrange Goblins deck. Let's start off with the lands here. We got 4 Forgotten Cave. It's a mountain, comes into play tapped. If you're a little bit flooded, you can cycle it for 1 red mana to draw a card. That's what cycling means, Dan. Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah. We played that last time, remember?
But it was black last time.
You're right, I only understand black things.
Okay, moving right along. 2 Haunted Fengraf. This card, adds a colorless mana, and in a pinch, it can randomly return one of your creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So it's alright, especially with a deck that has 23 lands in it.
Yeah.
I think this is the most lands in a Pauper deck that I've ever played in my entire life.
That's amazing.
We got mountains.
Pretty standard.
Chose a random assortment of them from the ones I already owned.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to dish out like the 1 cent for...
mostly M12 lands, yeah.
Yeah, normally I like to use Lorwyn lands, just because
Lorwyn was a cool set, yeah.
It was my favorite set art-wise, and if you disagree with me, you're completely wrong.
Absolutely.
And I got my white border quicksand, because they were quite slightly cheaper than black border ones. Uncommon 9th edition.
You should start your own video series about trying to find bargains in the...
Moto bots. Okay, so that's the land base cover. 23 lands, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yep.
Going forward, we got our 1-drop slot. Start with Firebolt. It's a shock, sorcery speed. 2 damage target creature player, flashback for 5. So it's like 2 shocks that you get.
Yeah.
For just one effect. Alright, Flame Slash coming up. Disaster. 4 damage to target creature. Alright. This card deals with everything you could ever want.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's,
except Germang, right?
It's also not an instant, so
okay, yeah. Well, you can't have it all.
In the original version of this deck, I was running 4 Firebolts and 4 Flame Slashes.
Yep, that's a lot.
But I was like, we need that instant speed action with the Lightning Bolt Arena.
That's correct, yes.
Just because there are some things you need to deal with instant speed, otherwise they can get out of hand quickly.
Yeah, and you can deal 3 damage to things sometimes.
Yeah, and I also realized that I had too much that I wanted out of my deck in sideboard matches against certain decks like Burn, etc.
Right.
So I was just like, we're just going to put in Lightning Bolts instead of these sorceries that would basically do nothing against Burn.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might be able to kill them faster and they can kill me.
Exactly.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
I used to run a 4 of Bottle Gnomes in the sideboard. Just for
Bottle Gnome.
the minor life gain, and I was like, this just isn't working. The only way I'm ever going to beat Burn is if I just manage to kill them faster.
Right.
And which brings me to next card, Foundry Street Denizen. It's a 1/1 Goblin Warrior for 1 mana. Whenever a red creature comes into play under my control, he gets +1/+0 until end of turn, which works pretty good because he triggers twice off of Dragon Fodder as well as Mog War Marshal. And we'll get to those.
Okay, yeah, don't skip ahead.
No, we gotta go slow. And you gotta grind through it.
You gotta grind through it.
Why are you looking at me like that? Or do you think you can do it better?
No, I don't even know what half these cards are.
It's like cleaning your glasses, it's like rolling your eyes.
I'm not doing any of those things.
Playing Magic!
You skipped Faithless Looting.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get back to it actually.
Okay.
I skipped it for a reason.
Okay.
There's a method to my madness.
Alright.
Actually, why not just do that right now? Because you decided to bring it up.
I guess. I just don't want you.
I'm doing the deck tech here.
You're just gonna feel like a fool when someone in the comments is like, you didn't talk about Faithless Looting in your deck tech, Rob.
Alright. When I was making this deck, I had 4 slots that I was unsure about.
Sure.
So I filled them with the cards that I thought would be fine. But these can really be anything. So when you build this deck, they can be anything you want.
Wow.
When you download Moto today, Dan, and really like, this deck is so good,
make my own account.
These
my account.
4 cards can be anything you want. But I will explain to you why I chose these particular ones. Originally, this deck only had 1 copy of Goblin Bitch. What gets happening again, isn't it?
Okay.
Originally had 1 copy of Goblin Bushwhacker. Alright, 1 mana, 1/1 Goblin, but if you kick it, all of your creatures get +1/+0 and haste until end of turn, which is pretty neat.
It's basically overrun.
Yeah, for goblins, it's about as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
The exception of this one, like 2-mana goblin, it's like you sack a goblin and then all your other goblins get +2/+0 until end of turn.
Wow.
Which is like alright, but
pretty good, yeah.
This guy has haste, and he does it immediately.
That's true.
And it's tutorable with our Goblin Matron as well.
Nice.
Also, this Goblin Matron, she tutors for goblins. Anyway, so I added an extra Goblin Bushwhacker just to give me a little extra sort of reach-a-reno, you know?
Sure.
Faithless Looting as well. If you're flooded late game, this card can basically just be draw 2 cards, practically. You know, you feel me, man? It's basically draw 2 cards.
Basically. Unless you don't have any cards in hand.
And also, I have 2 Dragon Fodders to add to basically be our 5th and 6th Goblin War, Mog War Marshal, Goblin Warrior, Mog War Marshal.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, what this guy does comes into play. You put a 1/1 red Goblin token onto the battlefield. Echo 2. I have to repay that on my upkeep, otherwise he sacks himself.
Yeah.
And when he dies, I also get a Goblin token. So he just keeps making Goblin tokens. He's awesome. He's great. Tutorable with Goblin Matron as well. We got Sparksmith. Tap him, deal X damage to target creature and X damage to you, or X's number of goblins on the battlefield. The only reason this guy's a 1-of is because he deals you a shitload of damage. And if you're playing against any kind of aggro deck, this guy can kill you very fast.
Yeah.
And another thing tutorable with the Goblin Matron, Sting Scourger, comes into play to return a creature they control to their hand. It's a bounce spell. Pretty good against like enemy Gurmag Anglers, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Echo cost 4, it's kind of a pain, but still, you know, it is what it is.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
It's good to vary your toolbox up.
Right.
Which brings us to a 3-drop slot, Goblin Matron. Already talked about that.
Yep.
The sexiest goblin of all time.
Is that, what the hell, is she wearing something, or is her skin just like covered in all these weird like red spots?
She's wearing like some weird skin-tight suit.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's fucked up.
Anyway, moving on. Volshock Sorcerer. Remember that 3/3 uncommon from like I think it was the Zendikar cycle? There was a 0/1 with haste, comes into play, pings a creature. Same idea here, except for in Pauper it's way better because a lot of the creatures you're going to be facing against are going to be 1 toughness creatures.
Right.
With a few exceptions. I just main deck this guy because against the decks that it's good against, it's very good against, and against the decks that it's not so good against, it still has its utility.
Yeah.
For instance, if you ping like a Gurmag Angler, it can combine with a Flame Slash to make it 5 damage, you know, and you got a dead Gurmag Angler, etc.
If you draw it when your opponent's at 1 life, you just win the game.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. And he doesn't care about how many blockers you have. Bada bing.
Bada bing.
Quote, bada bing. Beetleback Chief recently taken to a common from uncommon. This guy's 2/2 for 4 mana, comes into play for 2/1 red goblin creatures onto the battlefield. Pretty good with Foundry Street Denizen, you know, makes a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
You can use him to overrun Bushwhacker, etc., you know. And this is the Rob secret technology here. Scuzzback Marauder. 5/2 for 5 mana. Trades with Gurmag Angler, and he comes back persisted as a 4/1 with Trample, which is pretty dang good. 2 you can turn it with Matron, you know, pretty sick. Let's move on to the sideboard. What do you think, Dan? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Our 30-minute long deck.
We're good. Well, this is all your fault.
You made this longer than needed.
I didn't.
If you would stop interrupting me for 1 second.
I was even saying anything, you're just like, we're
It's because you keep like looking at me like you really wrong.
It's because we're talking.
Okay.
It's like, here we are.
You're making it even worse again. Alright, sideboard slot. Electrickery. 1 damage to target creature you don't control. Our Overload, it deals 1 damage to each creature I don't control. Good against token strategies, and also hexproof if you can catch them with their pants down.
Yes.
Electrostatic Bolt. 2 damage to target creature. If it's an artifact creature, it deals 4 damage. Against Affinity, this thing can kill fucking that 7/7 Affinity card for 4. Mirror Enforcer.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4/4. He's a big guy, but this guy deals with him. Instant speed, which is nice. We got Magma Spray coming in. Deals with cards that have Undying, etc.
Yeah.
Any card that has a goes to the graveyard effect, this thing will negate. So it's just handy to we got our 3 of Pyroblast, counter target spell if it's blue, or destroy target permanent if it's blue. Pretty self-explanatory there.
Yeah.
Lean and Bola is sort of a concession to decks that can just go over the top of us with like Ulamog's Crusher or whatever.
Sure.
You can tap those guys down with the Lean and Bola. Same thing if they're playing that our favorite Delve deck, Tier 1 Delve deck.
Tier 1 Delve deck, yeah.
So this thing probably comes in against them, I'm not sure. Anyway, we got Mortar of Ashes as a 4 of in the sideboard. This guy is one of the very few wrath effects you can get in Pauper, and also very good against hexproof and some token strategies, etc. This guy actually used to be in the main deck, but Dan convinced me that it was bad. He was like, Rob, I need to tell it to you straight, man.
Yep.
We need Foundry Street Denizen. Then we went to buy our M15 Foundry Street Denizens because they were 1 cent cheaper than the...
I learned a valuable lesson about bargaining with bots these days.
Alright, so that was the deck tech, and look forward to seeing you in the matches. So stay tuned. This was Pauper MTG, Fragrance of Rob with Honeydew Dan.